The last few months of his life were beyond any scenario I'd ever imagined. He hadn't walked in nearly 6 months. He was totally incontinent. Days would go by without him ever looking at me. He was just always staring out at, I don't know, not the TV that I left constantly running for his company, not the meals that I fed him, just out. Or maybe in. I don't know. It was the middle of the night, and I noticed his breathing had become labored. I knew the sound. I heard it 100 times before. His lungs were filling with fluid again. So I called his doctor, and he sent the ambulance. And they hooked him up to the machine, and they put that oxygen mask on his face. And that nurse said she was going to do whatever she could to keep him alive. But it wasn't the machines that kept him alive. It wasn't the nurse that kept him breathing. It was his incredible strength and his powerful will. And whether it was for his love of life or his fear of dying, who knows? But 100 times he has been counted out, and 100 times he has fought his way back in. I got a magazine to read him, and I pulled the chair up next to the bed. Holding his hand, all I could think of was maybe I can call Nancy and see if she'll let the cleaning lady in, or maybe he can fall asleep and I can sneak home for a few hours and get some rest. But I look up from the page and he is looking at me. Really looking right into my eyes. I put my hand on his cheeks and I said, "Don't worry, honey. You are going to be just fine." But there was something in his eyes. He didn't like that. And I don't know why I said it. I don't know where the words came from. I just heard them coming out of my mouth. "Collins, do you want to die?" And his eyes, they filled and flooded, and he just nodded. I can't tell you what I was thinking. I can't tell you that I was. I slipped off my shoes, and I lifted up that blanket. I helped him put his arms around me. And I put my arms around him, and I whispered as softly as I could into his ears, "Don't worry, honey. You can let go now. It's time for you to go on." And he did. You have his house. You have his child. All I have is this intangible place in a man's history. Please, just let me have that. Please, respect that.